The Ninja-Talions have plagued fair Stamford for far too long. It was time to take the fight to them, and so I left my home and went across the Atlantic Ocean to Italy. My first thought was to check out the local florists. I did not see anything suspicious. They were going to be more clever than that. Or perhaps not. This brazen act of vandalism made it obvious that they had been here. I was getting close. But I will find them, and I will stop them. For I am Hole Punch, and I am completely lost. But my luck was about to change. Bingo. A fiendish crime. Dirty words scrawled atop a priceless artifact. I was instantly suspicious. Graffiti next to such an obvious stronghold. This had to be where they were hiding. The entrance was guarded. I would need to insert myself very carefully. I waited until nightfall to make my move. The shadows of evil could not hide the devilish Ninja-Talions from the light of justice forever. I would never have suspected that the Ninja-Talions could be so ballsy. They must have stolen these from somewhere else. Though the uneven stacks do seem like something they would do. I would have to investigate closer. Definitely ballsy. My search of the compound took me deeper and deeper until I was all the way inside. The Ninja-Talion Armory. This must be where they make their foul tools and fortune cookie molds. I was locked out for now, but I would be back. Someday. With my tactical holtopus, I snuck in deeper and found clues to their whereabouts. The sign had been recently altered. It looked as if someone had painted over the letters R-A-M. I had successfully inserted myself into the Ninja-Talions' most sacred location. What secrets would I find here? I thrust myself forward. Aha! A ninja hidey hole. They must have somehow known I was coming, and used this grate to escape the wrath of goodness. The Ninja-Talions had gotten away this time, but I will find them. I will root them out, and someday we will be free of the spaghetti shinobi. Forever.
Warning! This program may cause projectile vomit, explosive diarrhea, and an acute case of the digital gonorrhea. This is John Rambo Presents The Show. My name is John, and I am joined by Dr. Pulpenstein himself. OJ is here.
Good morning, everyone.
How you doing there, sir?
Doing all right.
Exciting show today, sir.
For everyone who's still here after that intro.
We started off with a bang. A thrusting, inserting bang, as you like to put it there, with a little intro that OJ made. We put the challenge out there for OJ a long time ago. We said, OJ, we want you to make an intro. And he came through for us. Grand style. Excellent work, sir.
Thank you very much.
Tell us a little bit about that. You were actually in Italy for a lot of these pictures, and you planned this out.
Every single photo.
I like how Hole Punch decided not to wear his mask overseas. He has a European outfit, which is just a hat.
Yep, he just wears the hat. He doesn't think anyone will recognize him.
No one knows him there, so this is not going to really matter, you know.
Yeah.
It's a new territory.
The hat may have disappeared a couple of times, but it was always there.
It's for tactical purposes only.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, like his tactical holtopus.
I would like to know, people, you let me know. Is there a podcast out there with better intros than this? And we've done how many original intros for like what, 70, 80 episodes or something?
It's a lot of
original
them.
Intro. Is there in the chat right now? Is there better intros than this program right here? Mark says no. Other people are saying nope, no. By far the best intros ever done for a show, a program like this in the history of internet, television, or whatever else people have, drinks as well. In the history of drinks. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we got an exciting show today, Johnny.
Yes.
Something big lined up. It's going to happen in about 25 minutes. Something like that.
Spectacular.
We're going to have the great Mr. Angus Cheng, the top. We're talking about the top intros on the podcast. That's us. The top indie game developer right now, in my opinion. Maybe your opinion as well. He's going to be joining us. Creator of several games are available now on Xbox Live and on your mobile devices as well, including the fabulous Fivesome, including Tokyo Hosta, which I know you completed today. You played it.
Yep. Tokyo Hosta.
You liked it a lot.
It's hilarious.
The Great Angus Cheng will be here on the show today, and we're excited about this.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you may know I played all those games, a lot of Angus Cheng games with DSP on his channels. So if you want to go back and check that stuff out. I did talk to DSP about coming on today and joining us. He is unavailable to do so today. But still going to be a great time, and Mr. Angus Cheng's here. So speaking about the the group, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our buddy Howard has got some big news.
Oh, does he now?
Some very big news. And apparently he sent me a message about this, like around the time where this was going to go down, and somehow I didn't get it. And then what happened, and I didn't say anything to him. And then I called him the other day, and I'm like, hey, how's it going? Just like a normal conversation. And he's expecting me to say something like congratulations or something like that. I just don't say anything. And he's like, did you by any chance get any of my messages or anything? I'm like, no. What's going on? So he filled me in. Basically, Howard and his lovely girlfriend, Jasmine, been together for a while. They lived together for a long time. They've decided to get engaged. And it's kind of a funny story of how he did it and everything. He told me about it. And, it's good for the show because it didn't actually exactly work the way he wanted it to. We'll have to have him on here to talk about it soon. I don't want to spoil any of that stuff. But I feel good for them, man. It's Bear Claw Miss Camel.
Aww.
And you might know Howard from Project 7. Howard played the role of Howard in Project 7. You might know him from that. And Bear Claw and Miss Camel are getting together, and it's a great thing. I felt very good about the whole situation when he told me. I was very happy. And it's kind of weird, John, because I'm 30 years old, but I've never had like a close friend that got married before. I never went to a wedding for a friend, ever. And I like to think I have a good amount of friends and everything.
Yeah.
But a lot of you guys are kind of, I don't know, I don't want to put you down or anything. You guys are a little eccentric, you're a little wacky. It's hard to find a chick that wants to shack up with you, a lot of you guys. I mean, don't take that as an insult.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So I'm excited that maybe, we'll be going, and I don't know what my role will be. Maybe whatever he wants me to do, I will do. I was talking to guys in the chat before about this. Whatever he wants me to do. He wants me to play music at it. He wants me to carry the ring, throw the flower, be the priest. I would do it.
You'll officiate the wedding?
I would if you said, would you do it, I would gladly do it. If you said, I want you to dance at my bachelor party for everyone, I would do that. Whatever I could do to make his special day even more special. Right?
That's a nice thing for a friend to offer to do.
That's the kind of guy that I am. You want me to strip at your bachelor party? I'm there. Let's do it. As long as OG does it too.
Oh,
that's filmed for the show.
I didn't do that at the last bachelor party I went to.
Did you? Well, you just went to one, right?
It was a Jack and Jill party, so it was the men and the women.
Oh, you can't, why'd they do that?
Because everyone had fun.
That's the reason? But you're not supposed to have fun together. You're supposed to have fun separate.
Well,
and then one side wonders what the other side did.
Yeah, they didn't have to really wonder.
10, 15 years into the marriage, they still bring it up, and they go, what did you do on that night? During like a really bad fight,
I must know.
That leads to an eventual divorce. They go, what did you do that night? I will never tell you. You had sex with that girl, didn't you? Didn't you?
Aww.
Well, what happened at the one? We want to talk about it? Or just bring it up?
We went to Morton's Steakhouse and just had a really fancy schmancy, like, you had 3 choices of what to eat. You paid for your food. The drink was separate. And It was just really fancy
And that's-
schmancy
they pay
food.
for that. You don't.
It
pay
was
for
really good. Oh, we paid for we paid for ourselves. It was a party.
All right. Well, tell us the good stuff, John. We don't want to hear. Oh, I've had a lavish dinner that none of you could go to, and
Well, that is the
Tell
good
us it-
stuff. We were
that's it?
hanging out. Well, we went to a club later,
yeah.
and
What
it
kind
was
of club?
fun.
What kind of club is this?
I already regret my decision.
You brought this up.
I know. I
Tell the
regret
story
my
or not.
decision. All right. No, we went to the club, and it was kind of funny because
What kind of club is it?
I'm trying to figure out the most politically correct way to phrase it.
What happens at the club? What goes on? Where's some of the activities that are happening?
People are dancing.
They have clothes on
A stage?
topless,
Yes.
bottomless as well, or no?
No, topless.
All right, a classy place. All right, I see.
Yeah, it was classy.
High class.
But it was funny because we get there, and it was funny. Like the women all stayed up at the bar at first, and
So
the
the,
men stayed up
the
at the
bridal
bar.
party and the men's party went.
Yeah, all at the same time.
Yeah,
And then the men started playing pool,
yeah.
and the men were playing pool for a long time. And then I look over, all the women are gone. They're at the stage.
Yeah, they're
All the
checking
men
it
are
out.
playing pool, and all the women are watching the dancers. It was kind of funny.
It sounds like a junior high dance when the boys and
Nah,
girls don't
it
talk.
was more fun than that.
Did you see some nice dancers? Skilled. They had skills.
Actually,
Did they give you some special attention?
no, but some of them reminded. The only word that popped into my head was algae in the ocean, just kind of not really moving much, but still somehow moving.
They're just kind of waving around.
They looked tired
Oh.
at first. It was kind
Well,
of
it's
sad.
a lot of hours, you know. It's
Yeah.
A lot of them have the implants. They're heavy on the back and on the mid. If you don't have a strong core, then it'll just tire you out of all the gyrations. And a lot of them are on drugs as well. Anyway,
That's sad.
let's move on.
It was a good night. Though. Everyone had
Allegedly.
fun.
That's
Everyone.
good.
The important thing was that the bride and the groom to be had a lot of fun, from what I saw.
Excellent. All right.
So
I got a key. This is from Mr. Vossel. We'll be giving these out on the show for the next several months because you gave me so many. This is for the game Warlock, Master of the Arcane
ooh.
on Steam. I can't do this because I can't log in, so you're gonna have to do it here.
All right.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay. So while I'm doing that, let's go to the art for the week.
Yeah, dude, some of that art you showed up there was really distracting me. But here, I'm going to put the code out for you guys now.
All right. Here's the first piece of artwork. This is from Mike Vita, Living the Vita on YouTube. Getting ready for Mr. Angus Cheng today on the show. He's created the cover of Fantastic Five, so Mr. Angus Cheng's game. It's got 4 women on it. Well, it's Fantastic Five, so where's the 5th person? OJ is the 5th person.
Oh,
And
man.
this is OJ. This is OJ at the strip club, I think.
I was probably dressed better in this than I was then.
Look at this. Yeah, look at this guy. Wow.
That's
Fantastic
from my
fashion.
old poetry video.
I would pay $19.95 for this porno movie. Okay.
I don't know. It's surprising when art imitates life.
Here's Mr. Kyle Charles of Madhead Productions. I want to show this. Sent me a picture. He modified his StayBallsy shirt to include a tie and a collar, which is very nice, very classy. Madhead Productions on YouTube is one of my favorite channels. Please
Very
check
good
it out.
stuff there.
He puts out videos. He doesn't even tell me that he's doing this.
Oh, is that the one you showed me today, John?
He made a Schnozman and a hole punch 8-bit characters walking around. Didn't say anything
Yeah.
to me about it. I found it on my own.
Oh, it's
this is
wonderful.
awesome. So there you go. This is from a gentleman called himself Todd Rambo. And he created several different things here. The first one is the Schnozza rings. Right, there's one shot of it.
Whoa, that's pretty cool.
Here's another shot of it.
That looks deadly.
That doesn't. Yeah, there's blades on that thing. I don't know. Here's a 3D rendering he made of the hole plunge.
See, I honestly saw that and I thought, oh my gosh, someone's going to put that in Team Fortress 2 and I'm going to be sad it wasn't me.
And then this is something he created new. It's it looks like what do they call these things?
Brass knuckles?
Brass knuckles with balls on them.
I'd say that's the Ramborsian weapon of choice
So
then.
you like put your, I think it's for your crotch actually, like your balls go in that spot. Like you see the 2 golden balls, those are actually placeholders. And then you put that there and you thrust and then you hit someone in the face. Here's another. Here's another hole plunge. Very nice. That's actually how it looks.
That's kind of frightening.
This is from Mr. Liam Jordan. Captured my. This is actually my skin tone, and it's actually not very far off. I won the championship.
You just need to go tan a little more, dude.
No, it's not good for you. This is from J-Mac. Ballsy level over 9,000. OJ likes that.
There's some way that can be right.
I don't know what you're saying. I feel like it's dirty, though. This is from Iron Wolf. Iron Wolf has been making some disgusting but wonderful pictures lately. Now he decided to kind of scale it back a little bit.
Oh my gosh! Didn't we talk about this? Einstein the Green Lantern?
I think it's Green Lantern Einstein, but combined.
Yes.
But he's got a beard, though.
A mustache, man.
Is it like me as Einstein?
It's Einstein as a Green Lantern, and that's amazing.
I feel
Oh
like
my
I feel
gosh!
like there's a little bit of me in there too. I think it's like an Einstein-me combination as Green Lantern. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
I can only imagine the charisma and power that such a fusion would produce.
You want something from me, don't you? You're gonna be compliments today. After the show, you're gonna be like, I need you to give me your car. I need it. This is from Chris Merkel.
The original.
The original Merc created this for us. A little logo here.
Nice.
Thank you, sir. Very nice.
I like the words at the bottom. It's getting old school.
So this is from Ali Hyatt. OJaculation in your eyes is what happens. Burns your eyes.
Oh.
This is something that he found in Mirror's Edge. The game Mirror's Edge. There's a Raposa thing in Mirror's Edge.
No way.
I don't know how this happened, yeah. It's very bizarre.
Wow.
And this is the one, the greatest one that for OJ. OJ's going to think this is great. Some DJ Fleming. Boom. What do you think about that?
Wow, that's like... I didn't think that I had that powerful of a chin.
He doesn't know what to say.
Actually flattering. The hair is the most accurate depiction of my hair I think I've ever seen.
That's good stuff right there, huh?
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah.
So a couple things going on. Of course, in 2 weeks we have the show number 100. If you guys would like to start making show 100 artwork, that'd be awesome, because we can use it on the show 100. Right?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
There you go. And another thing going on, I want to try to get into going into the next century of the show. I want to try to get another run of guests going, like we had done so many months ago. So if you have anybody out there that you think is suitable for the show, you can always send me a message. Say I would like this person to come on. Maybe you yourself would like to come on for some reason. Maybe you got something cool going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why does it always have to be someone else? Maybe sometimes it's you, right? Right,
Never know. And we're looking at you, Bob Saget.
Well, that's I've tried many times, but it's he has like impenetrable walls in front of you. Can't get in. Someday.
Aww.
But it'd be cool to get back to the guests, because we had a nice run there. Basically, what happened with that is we met John Patrick Lowry and Ellen McLean at one of the conventions.
Mm-hmm.
Asked them to come on. They came on. Their agent really liked what we did with them. They thought it was a really good interview. And he's like, hey, I got other people. Why don't you put them on too? And then we did. And then eventually he's like, put this other person on. And then I'll give you my big clients. And we kept doing it. And then he just disappeared one day.
Aww.
Which is kind of weird. But
I hope he's okay.
It's cool to have people on, because it's cool to meet different people. And
yeah.
The networking aspect's awesome. Like John Patrick Lowry, he got to be in Sean's Band Hole Punch. And we met Ed through that. Ed is... probably one of the people I consider being one of my best friends right now. He's my mentor. So it's cool to meet new people and stuff. So I like to get back to that.
There's so much that we've just learned from that meeting.
Yeah. Where would I be without him? Where would I be without him? You did a podcast recently. What happened with this?
So I was recently I recorded a podcast with our dear friend Sam Wool, but unfortunately I didn't think to turn on my recording stuff either. I was just like, okay, he called me, let's do this thing. And so we recorded about an hour and 50-minute podcast. And yeah, the recording didn't work. So we're going to have to try again later.
Yeah,
anytime you guys do these podcasts,
have multiple recording things going. Because like
Yep.
right now, I'm recording. OJ's recording as well over there,
Yep.
and Twitch is also archiving this. So neither of us really have to record at all. But that's like the last resort.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of levels here. You got to make sure that your stuff's gonna be locked down.
You have to be as paranoid as possible. 'Cause
Exactly.
I recorded him, but not me.
And when we do Schnozman Hole Punch, every time I record something with the camera, I immediately watch it back and listen to it. Does it have audio? Does it look messed up? And a couple times we caught things like there's no audio on this. We got to fix it, or there's some kind of weird buzzing going on. What is that? OJ, stop buzzing. We got to hit him in the back of the head. He stops. It's weird. It's a weird thing. But one of the things I want to do with StayBallsy.com, I'm going to try to get something going with that. I'm going to try to open like a podcast section.
Oh.
Because I know a lot of you guys are doing podcasts now. So I want to get to the point where you guys can like log in yourself and then post your podcast. And maybe start off with a couple people and maybe expand on that. So
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
we'll have no more news about that coming up. I'm talking to Mark about it. I think Mark is going to be kind of like the guinea pig. We're going to kind of give him the keys to the castle. And
Mark
see
Brown's
if he can,
corner of the castle.
and see how he operates with the, putting up his podcast. And then if it works out well, we can have other people start doing it too. So, Mark's
Nice.
the guinea pig.
Mike,
Yeah, go ahead.
Mark says I'll be trial guy on that section.
That's his position. I don't know if you've heard about this. I don't know if anyone's heard about this. This is exclusive to the show news. November 15th, the PS4 will be coming out in North America.
The PS what?
The PS4. You've heard about this? The PlayStation 4? November 15th is coming out, and then November 29th I believe in Europe.
Nice.
So that's pretty soon. It's pretty crazy.
It's pretty awesome.
But as you guys know, if you've seen my SGC video, I'm a fan of Xbox One. I do love the motion controls. And so I'm going to be sticking with that. I feel like they should just go back to you should go to arcades and just anything that has a controller, just break it. Just, go to an arcade, smash the controls. If you have controllers at home, just break them in half, because we want all motion controls completely. We don't want no controllers. I don't want to use my hands. I don't want to pick things up. I want nothing to do with, why should I have to pick things up? I have appendages.
It's true.
So that's what I'm looking
you've
at.
got 5 fingers, but you can only hold one object.
I don't want to hold anything ever. I feel like it's
Think about it.
unnecessary.
I want a game that tracks where each of my fingers are, and that's relevant.
Xbox One, we don't know the date for that, though. We don't know when that's coming out. I don't know. We talked about it before. I guess we'll probably get into it more around the time when it's coming out. I don't think I'm going to be getting them right away. I don't really think the games are all that interesting, especially the launch day. Now they're saying there's a launch window, which has good games in it, but that's over the course of several months or something. But we'll see. Maybe when the time comes, I'll start getting excited about it. I have to get this. No? They released the roster for WWE 14. A couple people were asking me about what I thought about that. I like it a lot. Macho Man's in it, and Ric Flair's in it. Yes, Ric Flair's in there. And I feel like any wrestling game that ever comes out, no matter what it is, who it's made by, whatever, should always have Macho Man and Ric Flair should always be represented in a wrestling game.
What about Captain Lou?
Captain Lou I don't think he's ever been. Was he in the Legends of WrestleMania game?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Captain Lou, did I ever tell my Captain Lou story to you guys? Does anyone know this story? Captain Lou, I'll just tell it anyway. Captain Lou Albano was a great manager in the 80s, a little bit in the 90s, managed the Head Shrinkers in the 90s. He lived in the town next to where OJ and I lived. Mm-hmm. From time to time, people would see him. He'd always be at church every week. People would see him at church and stuff. But I remember one day I was driving home from work, and he died a couple years ago, but I was driving home from work one day, and I was driving down the street, and this dude comes pulling out of the diner and basically cuts me off, cuts right in front of me, pulls right out, and I was pissed, right? But then I saw, as the dude's coming out, it's freaking Captain Lou in the driver's seat, and Captain Lou just cut me off completely. What just happened here? And I wasn't that mad anymore. I was like, oh, that's cool.
That's his signature move.
He's a heel, he's a heel like you, so.
Hey!
But what they're doing for the game is 30 years of WrestleMania is the theme. And last year was the Attitude Era mode. You saw me playing it, remember? WWE 13. Yeah, you saw me.
We
So
got to see Mankind's magic moment.
right. So
Outstanding time.
this year's the 30 years of WrestleMania. So you go through all the different WrestleManias, which is kind of cool. Because I was actually at WrestleMania 10 when I was 9 years old, and now so many years later, I'm gonna get to play the digital version of that thing I was at
That's crazy.
20 years ago. It's pretty bizarre, right?
Yeah, so you can see if you can see yourself in the crowd as a small child.
If it's accurate, they should have made me.
Just look for some little dude with a hat.
Oh, that's me. Holy crap. Whoa.
But back to the Captain Lou story for a second.
Yes.
I guess he didn't use the heel turn signal.
A heel turn. What's the heel turn signal? It's a thing.
Well, he's driving a car. He should be using his signals.
Is there a heel signal like with your foot?
No. There's not.
What are you talking about? Am I not getting something?
It's a joke.
Oh, it's a joke. All right, I'm sorry.
Heel turn signal. Heel turn signal.
Oh, okay. I didn't understand.
Drop the mic.
All right. I think for the next WrestleMania or the next WWE 15, they should do the mode should be Jobber mode, and it should be all about the jobbers of history, including Mantar, Shockmaster, and Barry Horowitz.
Jobber?
Yeah, the guys that lose all the time. It should be a mode about them.
Aww.
And just them just them getting beaten like in 10 seconds, and then you see them in the back, and you have to like give like tissues to each other to like because they're crying, and it's all very very sad. But
what if a jobber fights a jobber?
it doesn't happen?
What if it did?
The guy that wins is no longer a jobber.
Does that happen? People lose their jobberhood?
It's hard to kind of break that stigma about you, you know.
What would happen if all of those guys like won all their matches? Would the WWE start shouting, "They took our jobbers"?
Perhaps.
Or what if the X-Men beat them all up? The mutants took all the jobbers.
The mutants are the new jobbers. Well, hopefully things never come to that, John.
Morph wasn't a jobber.
Have you heard about this new Rambo TV show that may be coming out? This was today. I went on the Twitter, and Rambo trending #1. I thought it was about me.
So you finally
But it
got
wasn't.
that reality show, huh?
So I thought it was about me. It's not. It's about Stallone's Rambo. He might play Rambo and might be on television. And they're trying to make a
Stallone?
pilot. Yeah.
Isn't he like 45?
He's
It's
like
old.
70, I think, dude.
Yeah, I know.
So
That's insane.
yes.
Oh my gosh, there's got to be a cameo from like Hulk Hogan or who else is old?
Everyone in the Expendables.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Chuck Norris is old.
I'm looking at an eBay auction right now as we're actually doing the show. But I'm gonna pull out of this. I'm starting to look at like these old comics, man. Like my favorite comics are the Frank Miller Daredevil run from the 80s, like the early 80s. So what I'd love to do is get all those issues, but I want the CGC certified ones, which is basically like someone that took the comic, they sent it to the CGC company, and they actually like grade the comic.
Wow, okay,
At
so
10,
you know,
right?
so you know what good quality it is.
Exactly. So the one I'm looking at, it's a 9.8, which is basically like a perfect issue, pretty much. They don't really go beyond that. It's really hard to get above 9.8. Like it has to be printed absolutely perfectly and stuff.
And go straight into the bag and board.
Yeah, in 1981 or 2. I mean, it's crazy. So. The one I was looking at was Daredevil 183, which is the Punisher shooting Daredevil on
Ooh,
the cover.
That couldn't have gone well.
It's up to $50, so I'm pulling out of that. I'm trying to get like a steal, you know?
Dang, Punisher shot Daredevil?
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. So.
I hope he sued him.
All right, so we're gonna do Mr. Angus Cheng sent me a message. We're gonna do
Gosh.
is we're gonna pause for like maybe a minute or two, and then we're gonna come back with Mr. Angus Cheng. Okay?
Hold your horses, folks.
Yes. Let me just set this up now. Here we go. I have a special thing for Angus Cheng. Okay. So I'll be right back. Let me just fix this. 1 second. It's a little bit of a process.
And we're back, folks. Let's adjust this a little bit.
Yes.
Adjust our face sizes.
All right, so today we are honored to be joined by the creator of the best indie games in the market today, which are all available on Xbox Live and your mobile devices right now, which include the fabulous Fivesome, Tokyo Hosto, all the way from Baller Industries. Welcome to the show. Mr. Angus Cheng is here.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. I'm really happy. No worries. I'm really happy to be on your show. I'm really excited. It's the first time I've ever done a show like this, so
oh, really?
I'm nervous.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No need to be nervous. We're really rather harmless.
Yes, don't worry. We're not very good at all. You should be able to steer clear of anything bad. So we want to offer a special thanks for being here, which is something you like to put in all your games. Special thanks to yourself.
Yeah, I'm not used to getting special thanks from other people. Usually I just give it to myself.
Special thanks to Angus Cheng. Yes.
Well, here's the other thing. This is the first time I've ever gotten to do this. Because you get to the end of a game and it says, thank you for playing.
Yep.
Well, you're welcome.
Wow.
I've always wanted to do that.
Okay.
But thank you for making the game, sir.
So I think I was going to say, I think it's actually our destiny that we would eventually speak, because our motto is StayBallsy, and you, of course, are from Baller Industries, so I think it was kind of meant to be.
That does sound like a really good match. StayBallsy, Baller Industries.
There you go, man. So, let's start off. Take us back to when you were just a small Angus Cheng. Tell us where you're from, where you grew up, and all that fun stuff.
All right, sure. So actually, right now I'm in Hong Kong, and I don't know if you guys know this, and it's 8:30 in the morning. So I woke up nice and early today. Yeah, fuck.
Thank you.
Is this your usual time you get up, or is this like a special thing for us?
No. Yeah, it's special for you guys. Normally I get up at like 10:30 or 11.
Oh wow, I feel special here. That's great.
Yeah, so I grew up in Hong Kong, and I went to an international school, and that's why I can speak English and all that. And then I went to Australia for university. Did some programming, computer science there. And I worked for a bit, and then suddenly I became a game programmer. And how that happened is kind of funny. Basically, I was playing a lot of adventure games, like Leisure Suit Larry, Grim Fandango, those sort of games, and I thought they were really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Day of the Tentacle, that sort of stuff.
Oh, Day of the Tentacle is the best.
Yeah. That. And around that time, like 2008, 2007, nobody was really making those games anymore, and we didn't really have digital distribution at all at that time, right? So all games were basically, you had some Steam games, and you also had mostly AAA games. Those were the only ones you had access to, and no one was making adventure games anymore. I don't know why. I guess they're just not as popular as other games. And so I wanted to make my own adventure game, and I thought, it can't be that hard, right? They just click around, do stuff, talk to people. To be honest, adventure games are quite easy to make. So, yeah, really hard, really complicated. So I looked around. I didn't really, I wasn't really a good programmer at that time. I was in first year university. I couldn't code for shit. So I wanted to find something that was really easy to. I wanted to find something that was really easy to work with, and I found this thing called Adventure Game Studio, and I think it's still available these days. And it's like this tool that will let you build an adventure game, a point-and-click adventure game, like Monkey Island, like Leisure Suit Larry, and it even comes with some animation packs and that sort of stuff, so you can really start going straight away. You guys could even make a Schnozzman and Hole Punch game.
Nobody really watched that. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, you should seriously check it out, because it's quite easy to use. As long as you're quite good with computers, you shouldn't have a problem with it.
Wow, so that's like how you kind of started out, just messing around with something on your own, pretty much.
Yeah. So I was messing around with this game I made, and it was called at that time Business Adventure. It was about this kid who gets kicked out of his house by his dad for playing too many video games. Aww. And he leaves him on the and he leaves him on the streets and tells him he's got to find his own way in this world.
So it's a comedy game.
Yeah, all my games have always got like some comedy to them.
Oh, absolutely.
it's-
We're gonna talk about that. Don't worry.
It's definitely a comedy game. So I started working on that game, and it was really, really bad. I've got the EXE somewhere. It's just terrible. I drew all the graphics. There's no audio. It's all text and all that. And I showed some friends. They said, "Look, this is really bad. You gotta stop making this." So I put it on hold for a year, and then I found out about this thing called XNA Game Studio, and that was in 2010, at the beginning of 2010. And I started working on my first game, which was Get Rich or Die Gaming.
Yes.
And I don't think you guys have played that. But
I never played. I did do a lot of research over the last couple of days, so I've seen some screenshots and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's quite a funny game. I'll send you guys a review code if you want.
I got some info off your website's really good. It's bowlerindustries.com. If people check it out, you basically have every game you made, and you wrote a little description about how you made it and different things that happened while you were doing that. And one of the things you wrote for that game is you were kicked off of the Apple App Store.
Yeah.
What was that
Actually,
about?
what happened? It's quite funny. Okay, so that game came out in 2010, towards the end of 2010, and then it sold pretty well on Xbox Live. I think it's like the 40th best-selling indie game of all time.
Wow.
On yeah, so it's quite good. And
Congrats.
some guys contacted me. Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks. Some guys contacted me and they said, "Hey, we want to bring this to iOS," and I was like, "Look, I don't think it's gonna get passed." And they're like, "No." I mean, that's why I didn't put it there, because I would love to have it on iOS. And they said, "No, we think you can get it through." And I was like, okay. I'll let you guys try it, and we'll split the profits. So they did the iOS version, and they actually got it through. I was like, wow, amazing. And and then a few weeks later, somebody flagged it. I think some.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I
Who
know.
would
I
do
assume
this?
it's some. I don't know, but some jerk, some jerk flagged it.
It's probably one of my
And-
neighbors over here. People, man.
And I got a call from Apple, and they said, like, "Look, this is the problem with this game. There's a drug dealer in it, and we don't really allow that." And I said, "Okay, how can I change it?" They're like, "You're gonna have to like completely redo the game." And I said, "Okay, don't worry about it. Just pull it from the game, pull it from the store." And they pulled it down from the store. No, actually, yeah, they said, "Okay, we'll pull it in 3 weeks if you don't make a change." I said, "Okay." I didn't make a change, but they actually never pulled it. So it's what they did pull was the free version. I was like, okay.
Oh,
You can't.
Fair
If you want the drug dealer, you must pay for the drug dealer.
Yeah,
Drug
yeah.
dealers for
sounds like
free.
a drug deal to me. Not that I know.
Do you think this was addressed in the Jobs movie with Ashton Kutcher that just came out? Do you think there's a scene about this Apple? No.
I hope so.
Oh, there should be.
Gotta pull this game. It's too great.
Well, he's beating the system.
They're having fun in droves.
we
We can't
can't-
allow this.
We can't pull it. It won't come down.
That game has got like some of the funniest reviews on iOS. Some really, really angry people. Like somebody wrote like 1,000 words about how much they hate Get Rich or Die Gaming on the Apple App Store. It's quite funny.
How much is the game? Is it like $2 or
It's $1. You know, like,
$1? And the guy was that upset.
Jeez, get over it. It costs less than a Coke, really. I will give you $2 to shut up. Like.
Well, those are the people that they want to make games themselves and they're not successful or whatever, and then they want to that's their vent. They're
Yeah, they
venting,
want to talk down the successful people.
perhaps.
Yeah, but maybe. I reckon I'd be pretty mad if I paid $1 and I got something I really didn't want. But geez, it's not like I ripped them off.
Yeah.
I didn't scam them, right? But that's how they feel. Whatever. Get that sometimes.
Caveat
Well, that's
emptor,
fun.
man.
Now you get to tell the story though, so it all worked out.
Yeah.
So what happened after Get Rich or Die Gaming? Then you did Let's Get Fiscal, I believe.
Yeah, well, that okay. So Get Rich or Die Gaming came out in October 2010, and then Let's Get Fiscal came out in December 2011. And the reason it took 14 months was, one, after Get Rich or Die Gaming came out, I just fucked around for like 6 months. I didn't do anything. And
You lived your life.
yeah. And two, Let's Get Fiscal is a completely different sort of game. It's a side-scrolling beat 'em up, which is completely different to a point-and-click adventure game.
Wow.
And as you can imagine, like a point-and-click adventure game, you probably could somehow make that in PowerPoint, right? It's not complicated. It's just like a bunch of rectangles on the screen. When you click in this rectangle, do this. When you click in that rectangle, do that. Get some audio, get some pictures. You've got it. With like a side-scrolling fighting game, it's really pretty complicated. You gotta get these sprite sheets, and you gotta get the physics right.
All the different frames, right? For each like attack and stuff. There's like multiple.
Yeah, and then sometimes you've got you've got different attacks which are slightly bigger, so they have different boxes, and then you've got like it's just really complicated, and it didn't end up exactly as I wanted. It's okay, but it's functional. It doesn't crash, and it's kind of okay to play, but it is a bit boring. Let's get fiscal. It's kind of a bummer, that game.
I saw on your site that you were studying Street Fighter and Streets of Rage and stuff in order to make that game. Are those games you like? Those are the kind of games you dig? Like you like those games?
Yeah. I absolutely really liked Streets of Rage 2, 3. Not really 1, because I think 1 was a bit too.
It was like the starting point is basic.
Yeah, it's a bit too basic. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So what I'd do is, I'd make Let's Get Fiscal based on Streets of Rage, and I would kind of think about how it would be designed, and then I'd have this prototype, and it wasn't like, it didn't look right at all. I was like, what the fuck? What's missing? You know, like what did I do wrong? And then I found out that if you throw a guy on the floor in Streets of Rage, the screen shakes, and I was like, no, how did they do that? And yeah, and
so it was a lot of just like running back to Streets of Rage and then running back to the computer and working on it. Like, how did they do this?
Yeah. And so what I would do is I would like download YouTube clips. I'd actually download them, and then I would step through them really frame by frame so I could see like what was happening. So when you grab a guy in Streets of Rage, I don't know if you know these games really well, but in Streets of Rage, yeah, when you walk into a guy, you basically grab him, right?
Okay.
And so there's like some guy like here, and then you're here, and then just like clip straight to him. So it's kind of like you're like, he's like a magnet to you, and I was like, does he go to you or do you go to him? And then, that sort of stuff, and those kind of like position changes are a bit difficult to deal with. But yeah, after a while, I got them working pretty well. But it's like a really basic Streets of Rage. It's not fun. Let's Get Physical, and then actually Streets of Rage can get a bit.
You say it's not fun?
My game, Streets of Rage, is great.
My game is not fun.
Yeah, check it out. I'll give you a review code.
I would love to check it out. You know what? Don't even worry about it. I'll purchase it myself. Don't worry about the review codes and that stuff. It's not a big deal. I want to check it out because I'm a fan of those games. But I like how you're blunt you are with certain things. Very pretty cool way about you. Like especially on your site. I'm going to talk about some of the stuff you wrote on your site, which I think is funny. But let me ask you this though. Like obviously you're talking about all the stuff you've had to do. Obviously you put a lot of work into all this stuff. Why do you do this, Angus? Why go through all this trouble to create this stuff? The sleepless nights, getting up at 8:30 in the morning to talk to the likes of us. Why do you do this? What's it all about for you?
Well, I haven't had many sleepless nights, and I haven't had many early mornings either. I'll tell you why I do it.
I'm trying to put you over here, man. Come on, work with me.
Okay.
I walk over hot coals to make my games. And...
I worked for 2 years as a normal programmer. So I was working on making databases and just making software for like businesses for a year, and then that was kind of fun, but yeah, it was all right. And then I moved to a company where we made EPS machines. I think you guys call them. Yeah, you guys call them EPS machines. The thing you swipe your cards through at checkout. It's like a supermarket.
Electronic payment systems.
Yeah, exactly. I made software for those, and that was like the most boring things I've ever done. I did that for about.
She's cutting out. She's still there.
We've lost audio.
For about 10
Oh, there he
months.
is. He's back.
And
Okay.
the whole time I was working there, I was also working on Get Rich or Die Gaming. Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yes.
We got you back. You came back.
Okay, so I worked at that. I worked at a really boring. Okay, I'm back.
Yes.
Okay, great. So I worked at a really boring software company, and in my free time, I was working on my first game, Get Rich or Die Gaming, and I released that game, and it was pretty popular. So I decided I was going to quit and try being an indie game developer. And it's been going okay since then. I still don't make a crazy amount of money, but it goes okay.
But you're doing enough. You're still alive and everything, right?
Yeah, and are you having fun?
Oh,
do you enjoy what you do?
Oh, a million times more. It's great.
That's awesome, though. Like you basically decided, this is what I want to do, and then you quit your job, which is probably a stable gig, maybe, I don't know. And then, but now you're doing what you wanted to do, which is what it's all about. So that's a beautiful thing right there.
Mm.
So I want to briefly touch on something. So you mentioned the XNA Game Studio. Now, just for those people who haven't heard of it, is that the Microsoft tool they released, like Visual Studio Express version or something, that has some stuff for making stuff for Xbox and Windows 8 and all that jazz?
XNA Game Studio is a free tool by Microsoft. It lets you make Windows Phone, and Xbox games, and it's it is programming, but it's one of the easiest programming game engines to work with. And
it's all C#, right?
Yeah, it's all C#. You can use VB.net if you want, but I don't think anyone does.
I don't know why you would do that.
Yeah, I don't know who's using VB.net actually. It's a crazy language.
That would be pretty funny. No, just full disclosure, I do software as well, so I was just curious.
Okay.
VB.net, oh gosh, might as well do stuff in JavaScript.
Yeah.
Well, I have no idea what you guys are talking about at all.
Sorry, I had to mention it. I had to check.
That's fine, that's cool.
There's quite a strong JavaScript game development following. There's a lot of HTML5 games. Those are all mostly written in JavaScript.
That's true. I just hate JavaScript.
No, yeah, I know what you mean, because it's really, there's a lot of problems you can run into using JavaScript. I'd never use it. I use it for some web stuff, but I would never write a game in it or a big project, because it's so easy to fuck something up and you don't know what went wrong because it doesn't give you, warnings and that sort of stuff.
Oh. Well, sorry for the derail, but I had to check. But okay, so the gist of it is you're happy doing what you're doing, and it's basically pretty sweet to be you.
Yeah,
of course.
It's not bad.
Great Angus Cheng, man.
Darn tootin'.
You don't even have to ask that question. Come on. Man.
All right, I guess that was more of a statement, because so far it seems pretty awesome to be Angus Cheng.
So from what you're telling us, like for the most part, you kind of pretty much taught yourself most of what you know.
No, I mean,
no?
with game development, yes, but
Okay.
there's a strong community, and we all us game developers like are friends on Twitter, and we all talk to each other, and we also have like these game development forums, and you get a lot of help from those guys. They're really cool guys, because the thing about programming is, other game developers, a lot of other indie developers are doing it in their free time, and they really want to like help each other out and that sort of stuff. So the game development community is really cool, especially the OJa guys. Have you guys heard of the OJa console?
Yeah, I've actually played it recently. DSP has one.
Really? DSP got one?
Yes, we've been playing with that quite a bit. Some fun stuff on there.
Yeah, the OJa guys are really great, and the OJa community is great, and the OJa team, like the company guys, I guess, are really helpful. I released Tokyo Hosto on OJa, but
you did?
It's doing okay. Yeah, it's doing pretty well there.
Okay.
Well, I could see I could see that picking up, because it's pretty darn funny. I like I like the way it starts. I'm gonna paraphrase here. Your grades are terrible, and no university will take you.
Yeah.
That's so happy. You just start off in such an up note.
That's my life. You're speaking right to me.
Yeah, I saw a few. I watched every single playthrough of Tokyo Hosto on YouTube, and every
really?
time we got to that, every single one, and every time we got to that scene, the players would be like, "Oh shit, I feel bad."
They were all depressed at that moment.
It's like a really harsh opening.
They all see a little bit of themselves in that opening. That's why they go, "That's me." Every one of them. That's me.
So you reached your audience pretty darn well. So.
Let's talk about we'll get to Tokyo Hosto. I'll talk about that, but I think the next one you put out was Rock Bottom.
Yeah. Okay. So actually, what happened was in 2011, I was working on Rock Bottom and Let's Get Fiscal at the same time. I would do like 2 weeks on one, 2 weeks on the other. Rock Bottom was basically a sequel to Get Rich or Die Gaming. Okay, so I'm going to spoil it for you, but in the end of Get Rich or Die Gaming, you get sent to jail for committing a crime. And in rock bottom, you start off in jail and you got to break out. And rock bottom was something I teamed up with a friend on, and he wrote the script and I did the programming, and we did a split on that. And that was one of the longest games I've made. It's got 3 sections to it, kind of like levels, and a lot of dialogue, like really a lot. And the problem with that game was it took me about, I think it took me about 8 months to get like a 1.0 version ready, right? Which is really a really long time just to get a 1.0 version out. And once I got the 1.0 version, I was just so out of energy. I didn't want to, and I was like really unhappy with the way it turned out. And yeah, and I was like, oh, how do I fix this? How do I fix this? And there are just so many problems. So I just cleaned it up, cut some things here and there, and then put it out. And the result is it's not really a very nicely made game, and it's really not that funny. It's okay, but I'm not crazy about rock bottom either.
When you say that it took 8 months to get the 1.0 version, like how much are you working on this during that point? Like per day, like how many hours are you just? It's just a lot.
Per day?
Yeah.
Per day? At that time, I was pretty lazy, so I would say 5 hours a day.
Wow.
Which is not that strong, but yeah, I did put a lot of work into it. I have really no idea how many hours total, but it's a lot.
When the game, even when the game doesn't turn out the way you wanted, like, do you still feel like, all right, I learned something, making this was worth it, or is it just sometimes it's like, I just wasted time? You ever feel that way, or?
Yeah, sometimes you feel really bad after you make a game and it flops. It can really get to you, especially, when you make a game, there's like 2 things you want. One is you want it to sell really well, because that's good for having money. That's nice, but it's also good because it's like affirmation of what you've done. Because if somebody didn't like it, they wouldn't buy it, right? So you did a good job there. The other thing you want is you want it to be critically acclaimed. You want people to say it's a great game, right? So you want to read reviews where people say it's funny or great or what they like something about it. Or you also want to watch playthroughs where people are enjoying it.
Right.
And the worst thing is it's sometimes you get one and not the other. Sometimes you get both. Sometimes you get neither. And the worst is when you get neither. You like release a game, nobody writes anything about it. And there's no sales, and that's just that
was like, 5 hours a day for 8 months, right there. It's.
That's what happened with my 4th game, The Rise of Gaddafish, which is about.
Yeah, let's talk about this one. What you wrote on your website I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It says The Rise of Gaddafish is the 4th Xbox Live indie game I've made. It went on sale July of 2012. The sales were really shit, and that made me angry. And that's all you wrote. That's all you wrote about the game.
Yeah, it really did, because oh man, like that game. Basically with that, I made rock bottom, right, and then Gaddafish was straight after that, and I was thinking, okay, I need to fix everything that was wrong with rock bottom, and then I can't just do that. I need to also bring something new, right? So it's similar to rock bottom, but I would say the storyline's much better, and I would also say voice acting's very good. But I also brought this like lip syncing thing, and if you look at The Rise of Gaddafish, the lip syncing is really good, and that's because it's got handmade lip syncing mouth movements. So when characters talk, you can actually see their mouths talking, and it actually matches the words they talk. Because I paid animators to like lip sync the mouths in, and then I came up with this really cool scheme to like, turn that into a text file so they. Yeah, that doesn't matter, but basically I spent a lot of work working on that, and then nobody bought it, and nobody said
no one
anything
noticed
about
it.
Yeah, and actually I've now looking at it a year later, I can see what was wrong with it, but
yeah. Why did
by the time I was like,
so you had a setback there? Why didn't you quit? Why did you say no? I'm going to keep going making games. Why wasn't that it for you?
I was gonna quit. You
were going to quit. Wow.
Yeah.
That would be terrible.
But then somehow I came up with the idea for the Fantastic Five. So I don't know what I was thinking. No, at that time after Gaddafish, I was I worked on a website with some guys. So I did like a little side project, and that's just like a real estate website. It just lists apartments in Hong Kong. It's boring, and then I started working on the Fantastic Fivesome, and that was really funny because basically, I think I was on Newgrounds, and I think I was looking at like adult games on Newgrounds, and I was like, these games are really terrible. You know, like nobody's made a really good adult game, and then I noticed that one of them had like 60 million plays. I was like, what the fuck?
60 million.
Yeah, I think it's that one Ganguro Girl or something. I don't know. It's really popular.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was like a really badly made game. Like you would get money, and then it would increase your money by like 10%. So if you had like $1,000 and you did something, it would increase your money by like 2.5% or whatever, right? And then your money would be, you know, $1,025, and then it would increase by 2.5% when you did something. And what happened was you got like these really ugly long trailing decimal numbers with like 15 decimal points. So your money would be like 10,872.2659724. It's like, why did he do that? You know, like he's just such a bad game developer, such a bad UI designer that he's like thrown out all these decimal points out there. And then I was like, you know, it like really doesn't matter because these people are not playing these games for the
technical
gameplay.
side.
They're playing
Yeah, right.
Exactly. And then I was like, aha! I'm gonna make a game like that.
And you were about to quit after Get Off Fish. You were done, and then you said, "Boom! I'm back. Angus Cheng has returned. Here we go. Fabulous Fivesome."
Yeah.
And I played this game. I really liked the game a lot.
Yeah, I saw you guys playing. Playing it. That was one of my favorite playthroughs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where we kind of discovered you, and we really enjoyed it. One of the things I want to talk about for this game, you had actual porn stars do the voiceovers for the characters. How did this come about?
Okay. So I thought, I want to make a dating sim, right? And you know, Fantastic Fivesome is basically a dating sim. You just go meet people, choose dialogue options. But I thought, okay, that's too boring. It needs some sort of edge, right? It needs something to make it interesting. Yeah, something that's like, whoa, what the hell? And I also thought like I need some sort of marketing help. And then I thought, I don't know how I came up with the idea, but I decided I was gonna get porn stars to be voice actors in this game. And you know, that's easy to want, but it's really hard to get, right? How do you do that?
Yeah, right.
So what I did was
I want to know how do you do it?
It was really difficult. I basically spammed them. So I wrote an email like, hey, my name's whatever, I'm doing this project, and I was wondering if you want to be the voice actor. I wrote like a 6-line email. I was thinking about writing something longer, but I was like, nah, they won't read it. So I wrote a 6-line email, and I gave it a really like important sounding title that was not related to what the email was in. Like, I wrote important notice as the subject. And then I was like, yeah, they might think it's from their bank or something.
Warning, you may be paying too much for car insurance.
Wait a minute, somebody stole my debit card. I better check this out. Wait a second.
Yeah.
I have
if you
money
see an
for
email,
you.
if I see an email, even if it's in my junk folder and it says important notice and it's from some Nigerian sounding person, like, well, I'm gonna read this.
Yeah.
I might not act upon it, but I will read it. And that's like the first step.
Laugh.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the first step to like being a successful spammer. So I wrote I must have written like 200 emails, and I called up a bunch of agents, and I talked to one guy who was like, I called up one agent who's got like a bunch of girls working for him.
Yeah.
And the thing about him was like I could not understand a word he was saying. He had the laziest way of speaking I've ever heard. Like, it's like he was trying to talk without moving his mouth at all, you know?
This is an agent.
Yeah,
That's
I've got his
amazing.
phone number. I've got his phone number. So, he's a porn star agent. So, you know, like he's not a slick guy, and really.
The questions he gets,
I mean,
like how big are they, and he says a number. It's not really like that complicated a conversation, I guess, he's needed for.
Yeah, right, and they want them, you know. They're anyway, but yeah, his voice was like I was like, what did you say? And I was like, look, I wanna hire someone for this game. He's like, it's gonna be pretty difficult. I was like, Wait, are you eating or something? Like, what's going on?
You want me to call an ambulance for you? Are you okay?
Are you do you feel pain on your left side?
Are you filming a porno right now? Are you in the midst of a scene or something?
Is your mouth full?
Oh, terrible.
Oh, shit.
Stop it. Stop that.
OJ, come on.
Stop that now. It's over. It's over.
Yeah, I've got his phone number, so you guys should give him a prank call just to like hear.
I'd
what
love
his
to.
voice
That'd be
sounds.
great. Yeah.
Oh no.
He's in LA, so you're gonna have to make a long distance call.
All right, we'll do it eventually.
Where are you guys based anyway?
I'm in New York, and he's in Connecticut, which is about an hour from me. So.
Oh, so how do you guys do snows, man? Oh, an hour's not too bad.
Yeah, I drive down and set everything up and run around the streets and everything. You saw that thing?
Yeah, I watched 2 episodes. I watched 2 episodes yesterday.
Oh, excellent.
It's pretty good.
Right,
I like
cool.
the opening monologue for episode 2. That was really good, about the sweater and how it's so itchy.
Yes.
That was great. I was like,
Try to stick with it because it gets a lot better. We got a lot better at filming and stuff as we move along.
We learned what lighting was.
Yeah, we got lights and all kinds of good stuff. So.
Yeah, and there's actually people in the show besides him and myself. Eventually, it's crazy.
yeah,
I know.
Who's that Spanish guy or Mexican guy? That guy was great.
He's
That
Brazilian.
guy was really good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Keep
that guy was-
going with it, man. If you have some time, keep checking it out because it gets really good. We're up to number 7 right now, so.
Oh yeah, I'll check them all out.
All right, cool. That'd be awesome. Appreciate it. So, Fantastic 5. So we were talking about that. You brought up something before I wanted to touch on. How you paid animators and other things. So I was wondering, like, how do you actually put these games together? Like, do you typically do that? You pay someone, or?
Yeah. You like, even though the games seem kind of low budget, they actually spend a lot of money on them, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like somebody wrote a review on Tokyo Host, and they're like, "Oh, see, it is possible to make a game with no budget." I was like, "Motherfucker! I spent $4,000 on this." But yeah. So with Get Rich or Die Gaming, it was my first game, and that's the thing a lot of game developers do. With the first game, they want to spend basically $0 on their game, which I think is a really I don't know. Actually, it's okay because your first game is probably not going to sell well anyway. So basically, I think it's a mistake to not spend money on art or to not spend money on music or not to spend money on SFX or whatever. It's always good to spend money on something, not marketing, but something. Like anyway. So with Get Rich or Die Gaming, I drew all the background images, and I drew all the character art, and then I got my friends to voice act it. We just recorded it on a laptop, on a laptop microphone, in my house. Wow. And so that's why the voice acting is pretty crummy in that game. And what else I do? Yeah, of course I coded all of it. And
do you ever do the voices yourself? Any of the voices ever been you in any of the games?
Yeah. I used to do all the voices in all my games, but I realized after a while I'm not a good voice actor. So I stopped doing that for Fantastic 5 Sim onwards. In Tokyo Host, though, I did the racing car noises, which was...
Yeah, that was awesome. I'm sorry, I just love, like, race car noises. Oh, I gotta go with that one. Oh. Yeah. And then later on, I'm like, oh, race car noises, you won't get me a second time. Oh.
Every time I saw that, I always picked that option because it's like you have to, you know.
Yeah,
you gotta go with that option.
Robot.
So. Yeah.
How can you not pick that?
You had it every time. You knew it was wrong, and you still do it. It was like, this is gonna be bad. Like, you have to do it.
Mission failed. No, this was a success. This was the best kind of success.
Well, what I think was actually quite funny in Tokyo Hosto was in the second scene, like, no matter what you choose, it's gonna be wrong, right? In the second scene, everyone fails the second scene. So I thought that was quite a funny little thing I did in Tokyo Hosto.
Yeah, it was. I forget exactly what the question was. Like, one was like kisser or something, or one was
kisser, insulter,
or insulter or something, right? Is that it?
Yeah, kisser or insulter.
Kisser or insult. There's no in between. There's two extremes.
You could do both at the same time. It would just come out sounding like that agent guy.
Yeah, true. Or you could kiss her and then insult her. Oh, that was a terrible kiss.
Let's go back to the porn stars thing again. So you talked to this guy. We kind of cut it off there. I want to finish it up. So
Okay. So
yeah.
So what I did was I contacted them every way I could. I found email addresses, I found YouTube accounts, I found Twitter accounts, I found agents.
Did you know who you wanted to be in it, or you just like any porn star, or was it like specific people?
I had this idea. Yeah, at first I wanted some. I really, really, really wanted Kiki there, which was really lucky that I actually got her. But the others, I was just like, as long as they've got a big following, as long as they're still active, I want them. And so what happened after that? Oh yeah, okay. So I sent about 200 emails out, and I got 20 back, which I think is pretty good because they're probably like some of the most sought after people in the world. There's probably 1 million fanboys and there's 1 million people who want to contact them. So
right.
I was pretty happy I actually got through to 10%, right? And 10% replied. I think 2 or 3 said not interested, which is quite nice that they replied saying not interested. And then I think that's polite. And then others said yes, but they wanted a huge amount of money. And then from there, we negotiated it down. I almost got Alexis, Texas, but she wanted.
Oh wow!
Like, something.
Excellent.
Yeah.
She wanted a lot of money.
Yeah. She wanted. That would have made the game, right? But she wanted $2,500.
Wow.
I was like, like.
And how long was like the voice acting session? Like how long did you say it was going to be? Like a couple hours maybe, or?
I think it wouldn't take him more than an hour.
Right, so an hour, $2,500 for an hour.
Exactly. Right. I mean,
she must be making a lot.
I don't think she even makes that from her normal job. So I don't know what she was thinking. Right? I don't think they make that much, but whatever.
Did you try to get it down, and she was no?
Yeah, I did, but at that point I already had 4 girls. So I thought, nah, I'll just play hardball. I said, oh. No, that's a lot more than I can afford. Don't worry about it. Hoping she would say, "Oh, I can do it for less," but she didn't. So
and you said, "Would you like to hang out sometime?"
Yeah, I was like, how about we just go
Angus Cheng. Right. You should have said after a night with me, you'd be saying special thanks to Angus Cheng.
Oh, you got to use that one.
There you go. Yeah.
Just don't tell them thank you for playing.
So how did you actually record these late? How did you actually do this?
So basically, they're all in LA and I'm in Hong Kong, so we couldn't do anything, on site. So I taught them how to use Audacity, and then I taught them some audio recording techniques, like white noise and curtains, and don't talk too close to the mic, watch out for your P's. But they just ignored all my advice. And
yeah, it seemed like
they gave me some really bad audio, and I was like, can you record it again? They're like, no, I'm busy, and this thing came out, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh. And the thing was like, sorry. No, they're like some of the most difficult people to deal with in the world.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, they're just pretty flaky people, so you can't really. They were pretty terrible to work with. I didn't enjoy that. And I don't think they brought too much to the game, really. Like, nobody recognized their voices, right? Even Phil didn't. And he's
well, I don't actually know them because I don't do those kinds of things. Watch that stuff. I mean, I go to church every day and stuff. But
okay, yep.
No, I don't do that. But no, like that was one of the reasons we checked out the game. I think because we read the description and it was like voiced by porn. It was like, okay, we have to try this. So I think that was kind of part of the. I think that kind of did it in some ways. It helped out.
Well, I could have just lied about that, I could have just.
Yeah, it's true. I just made up names.
Aww.
Yeah.
OJ, and I don't know.
But anyway, yeah. So that was kind of an interesting project, but it's a pretty funny game, but
it really is. I want to talk about the twist in that game. I don't want to spoil it. I think everyone should check it out. But how did you come up with it? Was this something you always had in your head? Like, it was definitely a big twist at the end. Like, whoa.
Yeah, there definitely had to be because basically I had the concept that you for some reason needed to have a 5-some. I didn't know why. In the end I decided it was because you are dying.
Right.
And the doctor prescribed it. And then so you go out and you go on 3 dates with some girls.
Try to coerce all these women to having a 5-some, basically.
Yeah. and then I was like, okay, we can't really have a fivesome. Like, what everyone really wants is to show a fivesome.
Yeah,
at the end
we
of the
kicked
game.
out of the Apple Store for that.
Yeah, we kicked out of even Xbox Live. You can do a lot of crazy shit on Xbox Live, which is great, but
Right.
it would not stand for that.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I came up with the idea for it being a Dota fivesome, but
It was pretty shocking, I have to say. I mean,
yeah,
I guess it's almost like shame on you if the person playing you think a fivesome is this because you're a perverted freak. But no, a fivesome is just a party with 5 people hanging out. That's all it really means. You're the one that was perverted,
and that you were a girl the whole time. It's just stupid.
It was pretty brilliant. I thought it was brilliant, really. I mean, it was shocking, It's like, wow.
Yeah. But yeah, that game sold pretty well. It's quite funny. There's some really funny YouTube playthroughs, including yours and DSP's. That was a really great playthrough.
So
I like that you picked up my name in that game when I wrote something about myself in the game. I always like to put myself in the games. I think it's funny. And yeah, you guys are like, Angus Cheng, what a weird name. How do you have a name like that? It's like Scottish and Chinese.
it's a great name though because it stands out. If your name is like Mike Jones or something or whatever, you'd be like whatever. But that's an excellent name. Let me ask you this. It's a great name. Special thanks. It's great.
Yeah.
What's the process like of putting a game on Xbox Live? What does that entail? Like, is that a difficult thing or?
It's not super difficult. It's probably one of the easiest services to get a game out on. And also, if you compare it to like how easy it is to put it on and to how much money you can make, it's really great. I mean, there's some people. There's this guy. He's the #1 Xbox Live guy, and he's making $10,000 a day on Xbox Live.
Wow, really?
Yeah, He's got about. He made what did he make? I think he made Miner. He made like a Minecraft clone. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, there's a lot of those out there. Saw a bunch of those.
And he's made a few other games. And he's basically got like 6 or 7 games in the top 30, and
Nice.
so he's making a lot of money. But yeah, that's the thing. People put down Xbox Live, but you can really do quite a lot there, and it's actually really easy to make a game on it. I mean, if you guys went through some tutorials, you could get something up and running in 2 or 3 hours. To get something good.
Don't tell him that. He's gonna make me do it.
I was about to say, you're starting that tonight. You're starting the project tonight.
I don't have any excuses.
If you guys need help, just message me.
There you go. Now you have no excuse. Angus is going to help you out, man. So you're on this now.
I do C# all day, and I'm gonna do C# all night.
Yes.
But I had a question. Speaking of random Xbox Live games.
Yep.
One of my friends, every time he'd come over, there'd be a bunch of us over there, he would just go find the most obnoxiously ridiculous demos on Xbox Live ever. He found this one game, I don't know if you ever saw it, because there's so many games out there, called Fire.
No, I've never seen it.
He downloaded the demo, the full game costs $1, and all it is a picture of fire. So we put it up,
and we're
all just laughing about how ridiculous it is. Like, look at this image. And anytime you hit any button, it says, would you like to purchase Fire? And we're all just like, it's pretty funny. And we leave it on there. And then after about 5 minutes, it's on there. We're just laughing about stuff, talking about other things. The Xbox blinks and says, we're sorry, your trial period has expired. Would you like to buy Fire or quit? So we're all just sitting there like, are you serious? Are you kidding me? This?
There's a lot of weird games like that. There's one that just like vibrates your controller. The massager.
Yeah, that one. Dude, that one, I know about that one because that one's quite famous. It came out, actually I do know about that Fire one. I think it's called Fireplace or something like that. It's supposedly so you can pretend to have a fireplace. So you put your TV in the fireplace and then you turn on that game and you're like, look at my beautiful fire.
Well, this one's worse than that.
Yeah, so basically, like literally that game, I can make it in a minute, It's just like, you load up a picture and then you draw the picture to the screen. That's it. So the other one, the massager one, that was made by a student in during some class because he bragged about it.
I don't know what type of class that is.
I think it was computer. He was in computer science class, so I guess it's okay to make a game in computer science class. So he was working on his XNA project in computer science class, and he just made this game, which is just like one UI screen, and you press a bunch of buttons, and it just vibrates the controller, and people use it to like, I don't know, vibrate themselves for whatever reason they want.
Man.
And that one made $70,000.
Wow.
He did that in half. He did that in half an hour.
Damn.
That's
Does that stuff bother you at
So-
all? Like, does it upset you at all? Like, you know, I put all this work into this. Look at this piece of crap. This guy made this much. Like, do you try to avoid that kind of thinking, or?
yeah, I do try to avoid it because it doesn't really get you anywhere. But I do get into that thinking every now and then.
Yeah.
Especially pretty recently, I made Tokyo Hosto, and then I saw a bunch of other really shitty games beating it in sales. I was like, how can they be beating me? Their games suck, and they're shit developers, and you know the review. Yeah, I did get into that mode for about a few weeks after Tokyo Hosto came out.
Yeah.
But then I just got over it because it doesn't help to think like that, you know.
Well, I will tell you that Tokyo Hosto is a lot more fun than Try Not to Fart.
Yeah, thanks. I think Try Not to Fart is a pretty good game though. I like those silver dollar guys. They're pretty funny.
Oh, it's not bad. I'm just saying. I was laughing out loud a lot more during Tokyo Hosto.
Yeah, I don't know what went wrong with that game. Like, it sold okay, but not great. I think the name's kind of shit or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. But, yeah.
Let's talk about that game a little bit. How'd you come up with the concept for this? Have you ever gone to like the the maid cafe or anything like that stuff? You ever done any of that? Check those out?
I have been to the maid cafe, but I went to one that was really bad, so I didn't enjoy it at all. It was. So I also went with this. I went to Tokyo in March this year, and I was there with some friends, and we were there for about 10 days, and we were having fun. And I heard about these host bars, and I watched this host documentary, and that's how I came up with the idea for making a game about being a host. Because I made the Fantastic Fivesome, and then a week later I went to Tokyo, and I was thinking, okay, I need to make another game like this because that game was really popular, and I just need to think of some excuse for some guy to see a lot of girls, right? And I was like, who can do that? You know, like, and and then I heard about this host thing, and I was like, perfect. I'll make a game about hosts because, you know, they always interact with girls, and yes, that's how I came up with it. And the main character in that game is probably Toby Lau, and that's actually my best friend from Canada.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
That dude's voice is his crazy voice, man. It's out there.
Oh no, that's a voice actor. That guy's called Odell Atkinson. He's a really great voice actor. I've used him in a few games. He's a bit difficult to work with, but he's a good guy.
Okay.
He's a really good voice actor.
Right.
But basically, Toby said to me, like, can I be in one of your games? I said, yes, but I can do, like, whatever I want. Right? I can describe you to me as... I can just do whatever I want with your character. He's like, yeah, that's fine. And I was like, great. So, yeah, I made him do lots of gay shit.
So he's Homo Lau.
Yeah, Homo Lau.
Homo Lau.
I will admit, I picked because he has a house option.
Wow. Very perceptive.
You actually got that right.
No one to pick that.
I don't know. I'm just like, I'm trying to get a job. You could get like fired for this sort of stuff in the States. I'm gonna be like, you have a house.
Sexual harassment charges, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So good. I think you have like you're very like unique sense of humor. I think. You never really know like what's gonna happen. Like anything could happen, and like these twists in the game. It's like, it's usually very funny, like the way things turn out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden they're in the bathhouse together, and you're like, what? Where did this come from?
I really like that scene because when I was designing that scene, I was like, okay, I'm gonna make the demo, 3 or 4 scenes long, and the game's gonna be about 10 scenes long. And then I thought directly after the demo. So in the demo, I was gonna load it with chicks, right? So everyone's like, yeah, this game's awesome. Like loads of hot chicks. And then after the demo, it was just gonna be super, super gay, right? So I was gonna like make them think that they got tricked into buying a really gay game. So, so that's why I wrote that scene, just to kind of like troll the player a bit.
Oh, that's great. That's brilliant, man. Really, really fun game. OJ, you played that recently, right?
Yeah.
What'd you think about the game?
Straight through to the end. Oh my gosh. It was funny, like, sometimes I'm just going through and the options and just like, wait. Like I said before, the race car noise, like your options are freeze, make race car noises or something. I'm like, What? I froze. Dang
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
And the robot, like, the funny thing is, you see these random choices at the beginning. I'm like, okay, you're not
like
very
to.
experienced. Yeah.
I'm writing a sequel. Well, not a sequel. I'm writing another game.
Okay. You still there?
Oh no.
Is anyone there?
Yep.
Oh, there he
Sorry,
is.
I think we
Okay.
lost audio for a second.
Yeah.
You guys lost. You lost me.
We got
For
you
a
back.
second,
We got
yeah.
you back. We got
We
you
got you
back.
back now.
You're saying you were making
back?
you're making another game. You said.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm making another game using the same engine. I'm gonna it's gonna be about Formula One drivers,
Huh.
and it's gonna be set in the 1970s. And it's also what's that? I missed that.
No, I'm just realizing that you could put the make race car sounds option in and it will make perfect sense.
Exactly. I was thinking that too.
Ha! Nice.
Yeah, but now that's race cars. It's got to be a totally different sound instead. You know.
And there has to be a Baller's Industry robot working in the pit somewhere.
Baller Industries robot.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good idea. Actually.
Well, let me ask you about that. Where's Baller Industries? Where did that come about? That title for your
name?
studio? Yeah.
Yeah, originally I was gonna call it to make like I've got a little brother and I like to bully him, and originally I used to always call him like pork. I thought that was funny, and I was originally gonna call the company ham pork bacon, and I just kind of fell out of love with that name, and when I was making Get Rich or Die Gaming. When I was making Get Rich or Die Gaming, I had this character in it called the Baller, and he was basically like just a rich guy, like a rich businessman, and his company was called Baller Industries, which I just thought was like quite a funny name, and that was all in Get Rich or Die Gaming. And then I thought, hey, that's a pretty good name. I like that name. And so I just kind of stole the name from my first game, came up with that. Actually, I think my brother came up with that name. I can't remember. I can't remember how I came up with the name, but I think it's quite a good name. It kind of sticks in your mind. It's a bit funny.
And if your brother didn't like being called pork, I can see why he'd want you to not call it ham pork bacon.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this now. What are your thoughts on the game industry today and like more of the mainstream games that are coming out? Do you think these games are good? You enjoying it? Do you play some of these games? You like these games?
Well, what I like now is indie games are becoming a lot more mainstream. You know, things like like Minecraft. I guess you'd call it indie game.
That's like the biggest game there is.
What I really like now. Yeah, and then also games like Papers, Please. Have you guys played that?
No.
Oh, okay. That's a game where you play as a immigration officer and you like stamp passports. Sounds really boring, but it's actually quite fun.
Huh.
And it came out a few weeks ago. But basically, what I really like now is, first off, I noticed a lot of people think the game industry is, bad. That people don't like Halo, people don't like COD, people don't like whatever. These big budget games. I think they're fine. And I also really like now that indie games are really starting to stand out and they're getting a lot more attention. And they're actually really great games these days. So yeah, I think the games industry scene is pretty good right now.
All right, cool. So what are some of your future goals going forward? What are you looking to be doing? What's going on?
Well, I'm working on this Formula One game, and I'm also working on an app, which is like it's kind of like Viber. Have you used Viber?
No.
Oh.
It's like an instant messaging app. Well, basically, I'm working on an offline instant messenger where you talk to like. It's like really early on, but it's kind of like a offline dating sim in the form of an instant messenger. And yeah, I think that would be kind of interesting. But I'm also working on this Formula One game, and I've also got one more game on the back burner that I haven't worked on for a really long time called Kill the Clean Shaven, and that's
Wow.
that's a shooting game.
Okay, I got stubble. We're good.
Oh yeah, you guys, good. Yeah, it's about two organizations. One's called the Beards, and the other is called the Clean Shaven, and they're in this massive battle against each other for I don't know why, but basically it's like a shooting game in the style of Contra or Mega Man or something like that. And I've been working on it since I think June last year. I've got a 1.0 version, but it's really problematic at the moment. There's like bugs and there's gameplay issues, and missing sound effects, missing music. I haven't worked on that for 6 months, but I do want to get back to that sometime. And I actually really should release that before Xbox One comes out, because it's basically an Xbox only game because it uses a controller. I guess it could be okay on PC.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about the next gen systems are coming out. How does that impact what you do? Do you now have to learn a new way of doing things for those, or how they're going to change things? Or
yeah, the problem with those is I don't think I'm going to be allowed to develop for them. They say that they're going to be open and they want everyone to use them, but it doesn't seem to be that way. PlayStation and Sony and Microsoft both have these systems in place. So if you want to develop an indie game for these next gen consoles, you've got to register, and then you have to, for Sony, you have to like send them a proof of concept document, just a concept document,
wow,
and tell them what you're planning on making, and then they'll approve it, and then if they approve it, they'll give you the SDK, and then you can start working on it. For Microsoft, you have to do something similar.
Why did they decide to do it this way?
Well, I guess I can kind of see where they're coming from. They're worried about the launch. Well, you know, the consoles are launching at the end of the year, and what they really don't want to happen is for the consoles to launch with a bunch of like really terrible indie games, right? So they want their launch to have all these great games and no bad games, because that's the problem when you open up your console or your iPhone or your whatever or your Ouya, you're just gonna get a lot of. If you make a console, or if you should make a completely open platform, you will get a lot of shit games. It's just unavoidable. And they don't want that for their launch. So I guess in a year after launch or 6 months after launch, they'll open it up. I'm sure they will open it up, but they're not going to do it for launch. So I'm a bit annoyed about that, but I can kind of see where they're coming from.
So we'll have to see what happens. We need Angus Cheng on the PS4, on the Xbox One. If they don't help you out, we're gonna get the people out there. We're gonna get everyone open arms. Take care of business, make sure it happens. Petitions and all that stuff.
The Ramborgians, they'll be out.
That's right, sir. So, what advice do you have for the Ramborgians about people that are out there? They're trying to accomplish something like you. They want to make something, whatever it may be. They go through tough times. What advice do you have for them?
If we're speaking generally, not game development wise, I would say the first thing you got to do is you just start doing it. Doesn't matter what it is. So if you want to write a book, or you want to like make a song, or you want to make a band, just don't plan too much. It's important to plan, but don't plan too much. Just start doing it, and once you start doing it, people will notice and they'll come along. There's I see this a lot on game development forums. You see a lot of people saying, "Oh, I've got this concept for this game. I'm not going to tell you anything about it. It's my first game, and I need $200,000." And you're like, why would I give you that money? Or why would anyone give you that money? Like, you've got no history, you got nothing. So just start doing it, and start doing it and keep doing it. Don't stop. You'll get there one day.
Just do. Right, make it happen. So, Mr. Angus Cheng, we thank you, sir. It was a pleasure. Hope you enjoyed yourself while you were here.
Yeah, it was great talking to you guys.
You're on Twitter at Bowler Industry on Twitter.
Yep, that's right. Bowler Industry, not Bowler Industries, because Industries is too long for Twitter.
Oh, really? I should know.
Yeah.
And then bowlerindustries.com is the website you want to check out. And of course, all these games are available now on Xbox Live. They're all $1 each.
And they're all pretty sweet.
Highly recommend them. You want to support Angus Cheng. It's an important thing to do. I enjoy all the games. I definitely want to check out some of the ones I didn't play. So, sir, we hope we stay in touch with you. I think I think we're on the same wavelength. We have the same kind of self-deprecating humor going on. And it was a pleasure to speak with you, sir. And hope we'll talk soon again.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for the interview. I really enjoyed it. Good luck on your 100th show. And yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
All right, man. Thank you very much.
Bye, guys.
We'll talk to you soon.
Have a great day.
Wow, that was a fun time.
He is a really intelligent dude.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I feel like we're on the same. Do you feel the same way when I said? I feel like we're on the same kind of wavelength.
The humor and the way you talk about yourself. There's definitely some similarities there.
I think we're gonna have to maybe do some stuff with them. I don't know what we could do.
I'm sure we'll figure out something. Whoa, my face is huge.
I'm trying to fix you. Hold on. What happened here? OJ, I think you got to make a game, dude.
Well, I've got the.
You've always wanted to do it. Don't deny it.
I'm not gonna lie.
I know that you do.
And I made software for the Zune once. Actually, do I have XNA installed still?
What did that do?
Oh my gosh, I actually have XNA installed, version 3.1 and maybe 4.0. It was for doing the Couch to 5K jogging program. It would be basically program in what route you wanted when you wanted to jog or walk based on the program. Yeah. Well, you asked, and that's what it is. So it would tell you what to do.
I think you got to make some. What do you think it's going to be?
I actually did get a couple ideas, but I don't know if you want me to share them yet.
During the interview, you got some ideas?
Yeah, about 223 seconds ago.
It's not a race car game starring Homo Lau, is it? Because that's a ripoff of his idea.
No, it's something else entirely.
All right. But like it's awesome to talk to him. He's definitely on the way up, and
oh yeah.
Like we always talk about, you have the mainstream stuff, right? And the mainstream stuff is there, but eventually it goes away. And the people that become important later on are the people that are on the fringe, right? The people on the fringe doing stuff that most people don't know about in the underground. Some people know about it, people that look a little deeper into things. Most people just take what's in front of them and they go, okay, this is what's in front of me, I'll watch this. A lot of times people don't like what's in front of them. They'll still deal with it or still use it because it's there.
Right.
So I always feel like you always got to dig a little deeper, find things out, find things that you enjoy, whatever that may be, and whatever avenue we're talking about here. And there's people that are making really good stuff. Those are people you got to support, and those are the people that are going to be the future of whatever we're talking about here.
That's why I was really happy to have bought Tokyo Hosto.
Right.
Well worth it.
Right. Got to support the people, keep things rolling in the right direction.
And race car noises.
Yes. So what do you want to do? You want to do like 10 minutes comments?
Sure.
How's that sound? How's everybody in the chat doing today?
You guys alive?
We doing all right here? We doing okay? Seems like
okay.
Everyone's still there. Everyone's doing well.
Yeah, okay.
Some strange comments about OJ here.
I
Some
think
people are
all
saying
comments...
they're doing shitty.
Yeah, there may have been a couple horrible comments from me earlier, but...
You were leaving comments?
No, I dropped one comment in there that was a really bad joke.
What was it?
I don't know, it was something dirty.
Long Live the Vita says, OJ, I'm glad you were able to behave yourself on this episode. Yes, I'm very impressed.
What am I not? What am I doing when I'm not behaving myself?
Tell me what you said, John. I know now. OJ said he was a porn star.
Oh no, that was one of them.
Wow.
That was one of them, Blue Venom.
This is what's going on behind the scenes.
There were two more that were bad, but I don't remember what they were.
This is what's happening behind the scenes.
Yep. Okay, so
I always find out what you do later on. You can't get away with these things.
What do you mean get away with it? I thought you were reading the chat.
Sometimes I get these messages later in the night. I wake up the next day after the show. OJ said this to me. OJ did that. You go, really? Wow.
What can I say? I'm not hiding anything on purpose.
All right, do like a couple of comments, and then maybe we'll do some chat stuff, and then we'll wrap it up. So.
All right. So we'll start at the. All right. I'm gonna have to read this carefully and make sure I don't say anything silly.
All right.
So if there's an accidental censorship, I'm sorry.
OJ touched me. I need an adult.
I am an adult. This comment comes from our dear friend Dude Guy.
Yeah.
Hello, friends. I have missed thee. For the past almost year, I have been captured by the Jamborsians. They tried to convert me to their sick and twisted lifestyle. I underwent severe torture over the past 12-ish months. There were entire weeks when I was locked in a room with AJ. It nearly drove me insane. And then, Ron Jambo. He did the unthinkable. He removed his hat. It was like looking into the eyes of the devil himself. I escaped, but the threat is real, and it's coming right for us. So John, OJ, and all the other Ramborsians, get ready for the fight of our lives.
Wow. That was intense stuff right there. I don't even know what it's about.
Grim. That's grim.
Couldn't possibly be referring to the show 100.
No,
I don't think it refers to that whatsoever. I don't think
nothing bad could happen at all during show 100.
I don't think anything will be going on with that. No.
Honestly, we're doing a show. Okay.
It's just a normal show. Normal show.
Yep.
All right. What else we got?
That's
in the comments?
on what is that? That's September 4th, right?
I think it's September 4th. That's 2 weeks from today.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So our next comment is from Todd Rambo.
Todd Rambo, yes.
John and
Cousin of
OJ,
mine or something.
if you are reading this, I want you to know it's been an honor serving the Ramborsians. You may have never heard of me, but I was one of the engineers in charge of the cloning of John. My team did everything correct. We mixed the right amount of sugar, spice, and everything nice. I'm writing this email to apologize to the Ramborsians, for you see, we added an additional element. A few ballsy scientists decided to add several gallons of OJ's pulp to our mixture. At first, the results were beyond anything we could have expected. It is not Ron Jambo's fault they ended up like this. For you see, one body is not enough to contain that much pulp and balls. We lost control of Jambo, and now he must be taken down. I must warn you now, the Jamborsians are planning something massive, destructive, and evil, on such a scale that I fear this world may be doomed.
Got a nice comment from MDX Snide in here. He says, it's always the pulp. The pulp is where it always goes wrong. It seems like. It's always volatile, you know?
I could see that. I do have a tendency to ruin things.
Oh,
Aww, who's
What's wrong with you,
self-deprecating now?
you jerk.
See? You're
All right.
awesome. You
Keep
don't need to
going
say
with
you're bad,
Keep
John.
going with the comments.
All right, the next.
I said we had
one
the
is-
best intros of any podcast ever that ever existed today on the show. I also said something else that would be a great stripper at Howard's wedding. I also said that, so I'm not. We're not going too far off the rails today.
Well, we don't want to spoil the bachelor party.
The spoil
Anyway,
of what will happen?
nothing. I didn't say anything. Our next comment is from Pathos Eater. Video is broken? Won't load.
Yeah, that's been happening on the show. Like, it takes a couple of hours for it to like be able to play on YouTube, so it's kind of a strange thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what their problem is.
Well, it seems like what happens is like it processes quicker now. Like the
But it's not done?
But it's not actually done when it gets there. Yeah, it's really weird, man.
So what do you have to do? Make it private and then make it public?
No, I
after?
just leave it until the people can watch it. But for a while, people are all confused.
Because people are going to get it in their subscription boxes, go, oh man, the show! And then go there and be like, oh, I can't watch it. And then that email's out of their box and they're going to forget.
Yeah, so it's ever like you go to watch the show and it doesn't work or something, just wait. You're going to have to wait a couple of hours for it to correct itself and then it'll work. So, a little PSA for you. Little PSA. Yes.
Knowledge.
What else we got?
Our next comment is from PlayRam1. Great show as always. Seriously can't believe it has almost come to episode 100. It really stinks that Twitch stinks for me. I would really like to watch the live shows, but I have to watch it on YouTube. Oh well. The show only gets better and better. I'm really not liking my second year of high school, but listening to the previous archives of the show that I may have missed during lunch and zoning out is great. It's my favorite weekly podcast out there. May the force be with you, Rambo and OJ.
So PlayRam, he can't watch it on Twitch, but he can watch it on YouTube, while other people can't watch it on YouTube.
Weird, right? It's
really
like
annoying, man.
it's messing up one way or another for somebody at some point.
Well, that's what happens like when you rely on other people to do stuff for you. You know, if it was up to me, like maybe this will be your instead of making a game, you'll figure out how to just make the videos that we could just not have to do any service. Does that make sense?
Just download it directly to Ramborsian Brains.
I don't. Yeah, some sort of like in Batman Forever. Edward Enigma had the thing.
I don't.
Why didn't you watch any of these movies?
I might have watched that because I briefly remember Jim Carrey as the Riddler, but I don't.
What were you doing when these movies were coming out? You didn't watch any of these movies?
I don't know. I didn't watch the one that had Arnold Schwarzenegger.
All right,
or the one with Poison Ivy.
Don't watch it. But it's cool like that. It's cool that that's really means a lot to me. Like that he can listen to it while he's at school and stuff. Because like when I was in school, I didn't really really have a lot of friends and stuff. So I would listen to certain stuff. Mostly Opie and Anthony show was the thing I used to listen to.
Before they got kicked out for encouraging people to have sex in a church.
Well, at that point they were on terrestrial radio, the regular radio.
Terrestrial radio.
Terrestrial
I like it.
radio.
That's what I'm going to call it from now on. Driving down my car.
That's a term.
Terrestrial radio. I know it is.
I didn't make this up.
But it sounds so cool.
I didn't just make this word. All right.
Oh gosh.
We got anything else?
There's a bunch of comments, man.
What's the next one about? Is it long?
All right,
or
next
short?
one is from... No, it's short. And I think this is good. Live the Vita states, first off, I would like to thank OJ and Rambo for using my video for the show this week, and I hope the Ramborgia enjoyed it as well. I've always done my work behind the camera, and this is the first time I ever did anything in front of it. My nervousness and worries came to an end because of the support I got tonight. Thank you all very much.
That's what it's all about here, my friends. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all about. He did something for the first time. Everybody liked it. Now he's off to the races, man. You can make all kinds of things now.
Yeah, if you guys have some nervousness to work out, the rest of the Ramborgia are here to help you.
To give you encouragement.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Who's got some questions, comments in the chat? What do you got?
Until that, I'm just going to keep staring at this picture of my face.
Did you enjoy Mr. Angus Cheng today?
I know I did. What about you guys?
I think it was one of the better interviews we ever did. I think it's up there with among the best ones.
Yeah, I'm trying not to interrupt him, but it's tough because every now and then the audio goes out, so I think he's done talking.
Listen, it actually wasn't bad for Hong Kong. You think about how far that is. That wasn't been 3 people on the line. That wasn't bad at all. Plus the downloads you have going on.
What? I'm not downloading anything. They
want more Cheng. I think Angus Cheng should be a more occurring character on the show.
I think he's awesome. It just thinks we got to wake him up mad early in the morning.
Yeah, if you're new to the show, we did a lot of really good interviews, probably more in 2012.
Yeah.
So if you ever go back and check them out, we got Ellen McLean, who was GLaDOS, John Patrick Lauer, he was the sniper, Team Fortress, a bunch of other people I don't really remember right now. Some really good ones. If you want to jump through there, look through it.
Oh, those are pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the most awkward one, but I got nothing.
None of them were really bad, I don't think, man.
Yeah.
But we had some good interviews back then, really. So, Allison Packard, yes, thank you. Magnificent Mark, that was a really good one. She's a voice actress.
She just seemed really happy.
We should have her on again. I think she's doing like a Kickstarter thing right now.
Oh, that would be good.
So we should have her on again. Miss Fat Man was on.
Oh, he's been on a bunch of times.
He's been on a few times.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Pretty smart dude.
Yes. So. I don't know. People are...
Oh, they're asking for the White Mage.
White Mage was on. She was on before. Carrie?
Yeah. Yeah, Carrie. She was on there.
OJ's been on the show a few times.
Can't imagine why I've been on the show.
The food girl.
Food... Oh! Yeah, Jenny Kelly.
Yes.
I think I spent that entire time just waiting to ask her about tequila.
And we had to do that, the musician dude.
Jason Charles Miller.
Jason Charles Miller, yeah, that was a really good interview. I put that up there as maybe one of the best ones. But of course, my friends, this is a segue. This is a segue leading to what I'm about to say. Next week, we have an amazing guest. You know who it is.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's favorite. No matter where I go, who I'm talking to, where I am, people always bring up his name. We love him. We love Ed Trotta. He is our hero. Ed Trotta will be here next week, John.
The amazing man himself.
I would love to hook up Ed Trotta with Angus to do some voice acting or something.
Ooh. That would be crazy.
I'm going to tell Angus about Ed Trotta. The problem is you'd have to do it over, the audio over Skype or whatever.
Yeah, which isn't the best. Or, what he did before was he'd have Ed record using Audacity, which isn't that hard.
Yeah. So that'd be imagine Ed Trotta in an Angus game, that'd be like my dream come true.
Oh my gosh.
Like I would rather have Ed in the game than me. Like that'd be like if it was Ed in the, like doing something, that's even bigger to me than myself.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a big Ed fan, dude. Did you know that?
I know that. I know that.
I'm a big fan.
I see that.
He's a big fan. Yeah, I love Ed trying to do the car noises. That's what he said.
No, Ed'll do the important stuff. You'll do the car noises.
Yes, I could do that. Imagine like you're supposed to do the car noises and you screw up. You can't do it, right? Like that's all you got to do, and you just like you can't do it. Wow, you're good at this. Wow.
What is that? What a car? That was supposed to be not a car. Dang it!
Damn.
I can't even do that right.
You botched it.
Arrgh.
A botched. We're gonna wrap it up, guys. We're gonna wrap it up. So Entrada next week, as I mentioned. I don't know what else is going on this week. I got a bunch of stuff to do.
Yeah, well, I know I'll be seeing you soon.
I'll be seeing you on Sunday.
Yes, sir.
We'll be working on Shina's Man Hole Punch number 8. We still won't be done after Sunday.
We're getting
Well,
there.
you know, it's inspiring to hear Mr. Angus Cheng when he says, you know, he's 5 hours a day or 8 months.
Yeah.
That's what it takes. That's pretty intense right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably pretty close to what I pretty much do.
Oh, man.
But at the end of the day, you do it because, you know, we asked him, why do you do it? Why do you do this? You do it because that's your art, man. It's what you love. You know, I love doing it. I complain about it. I complain about it to you a lot, but
Aw.
I dig it, man. So that's why you do it. Mark Crown, I'll be on Mark Crown Stories podcast on Tuesday morning.
Nice.
So you look for that at Mark Crown Stories on YouTube. It's gonna wrap us up, ladies and gentlemen. OJ, take us out in the style and the way only you can do.
Everybody, thank you for listening to the best in free and optional entertainment. This is John Rambo Presents. I'm OJ, and for Angus Cheng, for John Rambo, and for myself, for OJ, thank you all very much for listening to John Rambo Presents, the best in free and optional entertainment. Have a good night.
It was a little offensive there, but we're gonna let it go.
I was thinking of Gravity Falls. There's a character named Little Gideon who talks like that.
Okay. We just gotta wait like
Gravity Falls! Watch Gravity Falls!
Alright, we're done. Thank you.